Today we're taking a look at Amazing Heroes number 28 for August 1983, featuring a pretty nice Gil Kane cover there with the Atom. There's a big Atom story in here. I'll probably skip over that. These videos have been getting pretty long lately, so I'm going to try to get through this one in 10 minutes or less. Check out that Thriller cover. Well, it's actually an ad, but maybe it was a cover. I don't know. I've never read it. I've only ever heard good things about it, to be honest. I know there are a couple big fans of it in the early blogosphere. Trevor Van Eden's art, the more I see of it, the more I like. I have to try to pick up these issues somewhere at some point and see if it's just as weird as everyone says it is, and hopefully just as good. This Iron Man ad looks like a fan-made ad almost. I don't know whose art that is per se. That chain looks really weird in comparison to the armor, the way it's drawn, but it's an interesting design. It looks like one of the 70s Marvel stamps or something. I'm not sure. But there it is. It's an ad, and it's an Amazing Heroes. And it's not just a close-up shot of a head in black and white with a lot of black and a lot of shadow on their face. So it's something. Let's check out the news flashes for what books were being delayed. Batman Annual number 9, originally intended to ship June 9th, has been taken completely off the schedule pending the completion of art by Michael Golden. Now, there is an entire collected edition of Michael Golden Batman books out there you can buy today, so I'm sure that ended up somewhere. I just don't know where. We discussed Camelot 3000 in another recent video. Issue number 9 was already shipping late. Well, it was only a month late at this point. August 2nd instead of July 5th. That's not so bad. And Vigilante by Marv Wolfman and Keith Pollard has been pushed all the way back to an October release, so I guess that's when that series was just starting. Let's skip ahead. What we got next? Don Rosa's Comics and Stories. There's an ad. Get it now while you can. If now was the summer of 1983. I think I have this one checked out for this cover from Alpha Flight number 4, which might look vaguely familiar to you if you're a John Byrne fan of a certain vintage, because that looks a lot like the cover to Namor number 1, doesn't it? Maybe not. Maybe if you've seen one Namor flying through the sky image, you've seen them all. I miss that era of John Byrne. I really do. Here's the announcement that there's going to be a Kitty and Wolverine miniseries by Chris Claremont and Alan Milgram. Bob Layton doing a Hercules series. There's a Rawhide Kid series awaiting scheduling by Bill Mantlo, Herb Trimpe, and John Severin. That's a pretty good lineup, actually, for a Western title back then. More news flashes. Let's see what we got over here. The Avengers JLA crossover has been removed from the schedule. The entire comics industry cried. Don't worry, they'd get there. It'll just take another 30 years or so and a tech millionaire to make that happen. Well, not to make it happen, to allow George Perez to leave CrossGen for a year to work on it. Check out the new releases over here from Pacific Comics, including Gru the Wanderer, Twisted Tales, Elric, Captain Victory. Yeah, okay, so you had Gru. That was pretty good. Here's a cover parody that I had to look up because I only vaguely understood it. Casper and Wendy O. Williams. And I first looked at her and thought, wait, she was like a punk rocker, wasn't she, from back in the day? So I had to do a Wikipedia lookup, and man, that depressed me. I kind of wish I hadn't. Wendy O. Williams had some issues in the 90s, including a time in the early 90s where she attempted suicide by hammering a knife into her chest or something, and she survived that. She changed her mind afterwards. Eventually, in 1998, she was successful, unfortunately, and so she's not with us anymore, but that's a pretty fair representation of her from what I've read. I'm not a music fan of that particular genre, thanks. Going ahead, there's an American Flag ad. I love these ads. I know I've said it before. I say it with almost every issue, but there's always an ad I just enjoy. Including, here's a list of First Comics direct distributors, including Diamond Comics, Capital City, Seagate, Longhorn Book, Andromeda Publishing, Glenwood Distributors, Comics Unlimited, Multibook, Styx Comic Service, Second Genesis, Bud Plant, and SN4. I can't read that. I need new glasses. SNL Sales Company, something like that. But back in the day before Diamond took over the entire universe and before the situation we have today with various publishers or various distributors. First Comics proudly declared they're direct distributors in their ads for a comic, further proving the fact that the publisher's first and pretty much only person that they're selling to is the comic shop owner. Because I don't think the guy walking in the comic store door at that point to buy the issue really cared who distributed it in the first place. And some comic reviews. Look at this. A comic review of Nexus #1. He liked it. Spoiler, that's all you need to know. I'm a believer in giving credit when and where it's due, and none deserve it more than the creators of Nexus. With Nexus #1, Mike Baron and Steve Rude have given us a comic the way comics were meant to be, and in doing so have set a lofty example for the rest of the industry to aspire to. Sounds like a pretty good comic. I've read a little bit of Nexus, the stuff that Dark Horse was publishing in the early 90s, I want to say. At one point, I had the hardcover collection they had done of the earliest issues. I don't think I ever read it, though. But, again, going through all these Amazing Heroes issues makes me want to go out and find those. Or maybe find the collection. And I'm not sure which version of the collection I can get these days, but find one of those and give those books a shot now. Wild Animals #1, written and illustrated by Scott Shaw, Sergio Aragones, and more. A Pacific comic, of course. 24 pages for $1. And that's declared to be certainly no bargain. Oh boy, how times have changed. Spoiler, he didn't really like it that much because he thought it was just kind of thrown together. I'd read it. Here's Fred Flintstone and Conan the Barbarian changing outfits, which is kind of funny, I have to admit. And I think that's about it for this issue. I think we sped through that one pretty good. I think that's all we needed to get to. Comics Journal featuring a Frank Miller interview, which has probably been republished 5 or 6 times. I have that big, huge Comics Journal Frank Miller interview collection. I bet you that issue's interview is in there. That would be some fun to look through at some point. But that's Amazing Heroes, August 1st, 1983. Check out the playlist for more flips through all these issues of Amazing Heroes. We're working our way through them. We've got tons more to come. Thank you all for watching. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, all that good stuff. And I'll see you real soon.